Good afternoon, Slashaholics, and welcome to episode number 15 of Trax Reviews. I'm Alex Vanover, and of course, I'm joined by my main man, the 80s slasher librarian, Mr. Josh LaRue.
You know, I feel kind of bad. I'm wearing a Pennywise shirt, and it's the remake. You know, Pennywise, and I'm supposed to be the 80s slasher librarian. So I feel like I'm going to lose my card. You know, I prepared to review. I got it mixed up when you said we were doing episode 15, or is it 14? What'd you say, 15? 15. See, I prepared by watching Halloween 15. So, which was like Halloween Kills or Ends. I think that's part 15. Yeah, no. So we'll see. We'll see how the review goes. See if my memory's fresh enough here.
Halloween 15. In the research I did for this episode, Josh, there's like they retcon it and they do soft reboots like 2 or 3 different times in this franchise. It's crazy. You really need to pay attention to where you're at in the sequence of movies to even know where the storyline is.
It's
to be honest with you.
It's like at some point. Let me channel Loomis real quick. Hold on a second. Michael, at some point we drifted into this other timeline where Lori was not your sister, and for some reason the comedian Danny McBride writes your every movement.
And Donald Trump is president.
Pull a whole Back to the Future too.
Biff Tannen Towers. So yeah, Slashaholics, in case you didn't figure it out by both of our pictures behind us or the thumbnail or the name and the title of this episode, we are reviewing Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And the first thought I had when I was freshening up for this episode and rewatching this movie yesterday, I just thought it was so on the nose that the filmmakers were like, we have to let the audience know that Michael Myers is in this movie and he is in fact back.
Yeah.
So we'll name it in the main title, The Return of Michael Myers.
Exactly. Like no more. It's not male businessman witches, that are going to use Stonehenge to kill all the children in the world.
Michael Myers did make an appearance in Halloween 3, believe it or not, Slashaholics. There's a scene where you can see Halloween playing in the background on the TV.
Yeah.
So he's in the movie. It's like you have to really pay attention, but he is in the movie. I guess it doesn't count. It's kind of like when Evil Dead is playing on the TV in Nightmare on Elm Street in Nancy's room.
This was supposed to be a ghost movie.
It was absolutely, yeah. This was going to be a continuation of like the anthology. Yeah, but this one was going to be its own thing, a ghost movie.
Are you a ghost or what are you?
My own thing.
And Halloween 3 had such bad feedback, such bad blowback, not received really well until years and years and years and years later. Now it's cool to like Halloween 3, but when it first came out, it was universally panned. So much so that the studio was like, we have to get Michael back in this thing because he's the ticket to success here.
Which it makes you, I wish we'd got a scene on how the hell Loomis and Michael got out of that burning hospital, and his eyes were taken out, right? Like he was like bleeding out of his eyes. And
yeah, they don't explain it. Well, Loomis has a big scar on his face now, and Michael Myers is the mummy. He's wrapped up, full body wrap, like a cartoon character that like fell off a cliff. He's like in a full body wrap cast. So yeah, Michael Myers is a little worse for the wear when we see him again. Josh, this movie was directed by a guy named Dwight H. Little, and he did some excellent directing work on a TV show that we both loved. Do you know what TV show that was?
Tattooed teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills.
I wish.
Freddy's Nightmares.
Freddy's Nightmares.
Yeah.
Freddy's Nightmares.
Yes.
Yeah. Freddy's Nightmares. So Dwight H. Little practiced and honed his craft on Freddy's Nightmares episodes, and he also directed the Steven Seagal film Marked for Death, the movie Rapid Fire, which I think was Brandon Lee.
Okay.
And Free Willy 2, The Adventure Home. So quite the eclectic and broad resume for our friend Dwight H. Little.
Why does Willie keep getting kidnapped or held prisoner? They got to free him like 4 times.
He's such like he brings so many butts to the seats in SCP.
Willie.
Yeah, they have to have him there, otherwise just an empty stadium.
When you said his name, the director, I thought you were going to tell me he also directed Halloween Resurrection. Little
Oh
Mike.
yeah, little Mikey. By the way, Slashaholics, if you're new to the channel, check out the Slash Tracks episode where we riff Halloween Resurrection. Um, Probably one of our funniest riffs, in my opinion, that we've ever done.
Yes,
Really funny.
and if you don't have the movie, there's a link in the description. You can watch our riff on Google Drive for free.
Yeah.
With the whole movie included. It's great. We
Yeah,
really stick it to little Michael, little short Michael.
Or like Josh and I like to call it around the Slash Track Studios, Honey, I Shrunk the Slasher.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he's tiny in that film.
Smaller than Remake Freddy. Remake Freddy was pretty short.
Kelly Leak himself. Okay, so check this out. So the cast, starring number one billing, Donald Pleasance, comes back as Dr. Sam Loomis. Here are a couple titles he's been in other than Halloween. He was in The Great Escape. He was in THX 1138. He was in Escape to Witch Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say, in doing my research for Donald Pleasance, I have never seen somebody with more credits for film roles than him. They don't just say film roles, Josh. They say the decade it was, and then it has like 20 films per decade.
Wow, he might be giving Mickey Rooney a run for his money.
I've never seen anything like that before or since. It's just incredible how many film roles he has, like hundreds.
He was born to play Loomis. He was born to play Loomis.
He's great. He brings a lot of pathos to a character that probably was not supposed to really be. I mean, he was supposed to be important, but like he almost became as important to the franchise as Michael Myers. He is the connective tissue from 1 to 4, right?
And he gets, and one of the reboots they did was Halloween H2O. And if not for that, the series would have ended with him inheriting the evil, So like after everything he went through, at the end of part 6, he was supposed to become the new killer, which would have been strange. Yeah, if you the original, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say he was having a hard time walking in part 4.
I know, but at the end of 6, you hear him scream from inside the house because like the evil was going into him or whatever.
How does the evil enter his body? Does it like through the head or through the rear end? How does the evil enter one's body?
Oh man, I just thought of what it would be like if he became the.
All right, so we've got Ellie Cornell, who plays Rachel Carruthers. She was in Halloween 5 for about 10 seconds, and she was in a movie like as a not a main character, but like kind of like a almost not a cameo because she's not famous. She was in Married to the Mob, the Michelle Pfeiffer movie that came out in like 86, 87.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact that I have that I had it saved for later in this episode, but since we're talking about her, I'll just say it now. She auditioned for the part of that Tuesday Night got in Dream Master, Kristen Parker.
Wow. Okay.
So she auditioned for Dream Master, a lead role, and she auditioned for Halloween 4, a lead role. And she ultimately chose this movie to be in instead of Dream Master.
Okay.
How do you think she would have done in Dream Master?
I don't know, because like it's so ingrained. The movie Dream Warrior or Dream Master is so ingrained, but yeah, I don't think she would have done horrible. I mean,
No.
hair dyed and everything, but
I think she might have done better. I'm not a big Tuesday Night fan.
yeah.
It was such a stark difference from Patricia Arquette to Tuesday Night, in almost every way, performance, looks, everything.
Yeah.
I will say this for Tuesday Night. She's a really great musician and she can sing her butt off. And Slash Track Saturday mornings, Josh and I have a second channel. We review He-Man episodes, Power Rangers episodes, DuckTales, whatever. She just covered the I Have the Secret of the Sword, I Have the Power, He-Man and She-Ra theme song from their movie. And she did a really great job. You guys should check that out on YouTube. But yeah, she's a good singer. Do I think that Aaron Ellie Cornell could have did just as good of a job? Yeah, I do. I
Okay.
do. For sure. But it doesn't matter. It's like she gets killed in like the first 8 minutes of that film anyway.
Part five, man, of Halloween does her so wrong, so wrong.
They were gonna kill her by putting like scissors in her head. Like they were gonna kill her by having something stabbing her in the face. And she like argued, she's like, I can't, that's not gonna happen to my character, blah blah blah. So they switched it to where they just stabbed her in the chest because it wasn't dignified enough for her character, according to Ellie. But which is cool. I think that's cool because she did survive all of this film.
Yeah,
But spoiler alert, they kill her off just like they did Alice in Friday the 13th Part 2. They kill her really quick.
yeah, yeah. And then part six kills little uh oh my god.
Daniel Harris.
Yes, Jamie. They killed Jamie
Yeah.
off like really fast.
Yeah, it's interesting how Halloween handles legacy characters. They don't give an F.
Mm-mm.
Speaking of Daniel Harris, she plays Jamie Lloyd, who is supposed to be Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter, Laurie Strode's daughter. Laurie Strode was originally supposed to be in this film. They offered her the role. They had not had a solid concrete script down yet.
Yeah.
So her character was still alive in the Haddonfield universe. She had just done A Fish Called Wanda, and then she did Trading Places. So her character was like starting to or her career was starting to blow up non-horror wise. So she was like, I'm too good for horror, even though she was in Prom Night and freaking Halloween 1 and 2. And I think she was in some other horror movies as well.
I think you're
Um,
right.
yeah, so she was like a horror scream queen in the 70s and 80s, but at this point she was a little too big for horror. She turned it down, so the studio wrote her out of the script, wrote a whole new script, killed her character off screen. We don't even see her die. We don't even know how she dies.
I brought this up before we started, and I think it's like a Mandela effect thing for me. Anybody else, please let me know if you remember this too. For some reason, I remember something. Maybe it was part five. Maybe it was this one, where there's like a newspaper clipping or something about a car wreck that she died in a car wreck. But as Alex has pointed out, they don't say it, so I don't know what I'm remembering. So if anybody watching remembers that, please let me know if I'm not crazy. Otherwise, I'm just nuts. And
Speaking
that's
of
fine
Mandela
too.
effect, I think what you're thinking about was it was Sinbad who died in the car wreck. He
Yes,
was
that's
playing
it.
a
That's it.
genie. He was playing a genie, and the movie was called Kazam.
I remember Kazam, so I'm bad.
Shazam. They said it was Shazam.
Oh yeah, I remember Shazam, and Kazam was the actual movie.
Kazam was Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal, and then somebody said Sinbad played Shazam as
A
a
lot,
genie.
a lot more than one person. Millions of people
I
remember.
don't know where they get that. Sinbad was in a lot of movies. Like wasn't he in like House Guest and like First Kid
Oh yeah,
and he was
Blank Check, I
Sinbad.
think.
Yeah,
I
no, he
remember.
wasn't in Blake Check. He wasn't
Oh,
in
okay.
Blake.
Well, I remember Shazam. So I guess I'm from the universe that's blending with this universe.
I guess, man.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Daniel Harris was in Halloween 5. She was in Marked for Death, which was another Dwight H. Little film. So he must have liked her performance in this film and put her in another film.
Yeah.
Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, which has a huge cult following. She was also in the Free Willy universe. She was in the first Free
No,
Willy.
is that where the director met her?
No, he did Free Willy too.
Oh no,
She
that was
Free
after
Willy.
this. That was after this.
Yeah, he followed her career trajectory on that one.
Ooh, I know something she was in that you might have on your list, but I want to look like I'm smart too. Can I say
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
She was in Roseanne.
yeah.
I think she got Darlene to stay out
Stay
late.
out all night at a concert, right?
Then they brought her back on the Connors, and spoiler alert, she comes back on the Connors as a grown up. And I keep disappearing. I'm sorry, folks.
That's okay.
Um, Comes back on the Connors, and she dies of like a brain aneurysm or something.
They did kill her character
Yeah.
off. I saw that. That's such a cheap trick. I hate when sitcoms do that. Yeah, remember this character you liked in season 3? Well, she's back, and guess what? She's dead.
She was kind of a shithead back on Roseanne, but yeah,
He was like trying to nail Johnny Galecki when Darlene was dating him, right?
yeah.
Something
Well,
like
at least
that.
she got like a 3 episode thing on the Connors, like got to come back. What's she done in the past 10 years?
Halloween 2007, Halloween 2009, part two, Rob Zombie's films, and she was also in the classic horror films Hatchet 2 and 3. Thank you very much.
Oh, I stand corrected. She didn't need the TV boost.
And she was at her hottest ever in Urban Legend when she was playing like the goth roommate.
Oh,
Um,
yes, that was her, wasn't it?
yeah, she was so hot in that movie. She's got a dude. She played a high school kid in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2007 movie, and she was probably like 35.
35.
For real, she's like 49 now, 47, 48.
Okay.
2007, that's 14 years ago. Um, right? Is my math correct on that?
20, that would be, let's see here, not quite 20. 2007, we're 3 years away from that. So that was like
17 years ago.
Yeah.
So 49 minus, she was 32 in high school.
She was 30 in high school. Yep.
Well, damn. So kind of little cougar action, little predator. She's the predator this time, but she's not looking to kill people. She's looking to kill underage ween. Wow. George, okay, excuse me. Next person in this film, Tom Morga. And Tom Morga, Slashaholics, has a distinct record of being the only man to portray Michael Myers, Leatherface, and Jason Voorhees all in their respective franchises. So
Kane Hodder did it. Kane Hodder did it.
He played Leatherface?
Yes, in part three, he did a like a scene as stunt or something in the costume. And he did Freddy.
Okay.
Actually, he might be a different character.
He played Freddy's glove and
Freddy's glove. Yeah. But no, he didn't actually play him. He did like a scene, kind of like that guy that stole the Jason role away from Kane Hodder. You know, he did like one stunt scene. What was his name? Oh, we don't say it here, do we?
Kurzinger.
Yeah, Kurzinger. Curse you. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I heard a rumor Kane Hodder played Leatherface in part three, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think Tom Morga is the only guy to do it. But never fear, Slashaholics or Kane Hodder. Tom Morga was fired during this production. He didn't even make it the whole film. They had to replace him with a guy named George Peter Wilbur. And this is I think Josh will like this. George Peter Wilbur was in The Running Man. He was in he was in Halloween 6. He came back and played Michael Myers in The Curse of Michael Myers. So he played Michael Myers twice. But he also played the bailiff in the court in Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, hell yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So Michael Myers was the bailiff in Ghostbusters 2. So that's kind of neat.
That is neat. That's really cool.
So George Peter Wilbur, Trax royalty, because we love Ghostbusters. But here's another Trax royalty, at least on my side. Michael Pataki, who's not Dr. Loomis. He's the other doctor, Dr. Hoffman, in the beginning of this film. The only other role that I've ever seen him in, and that I'll always remember him as, is the Russian boxing trainer, like ambassador in Rocky 4 for Drago.
I was just talking about
he's
Rocky.
Like Drago's hype man.
Yeah.
He's like, basically, whatever Drago hits, he destroys. And then he's like, if he was talking about Michael Myers in that voice, he'd be like, whatever Michael Myers stabs, he destroys.
So the result's quite obvious.
And what results are those?
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
Keep disappearing.
Your parents didn't fall in love at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. You're fucked.
Oh no, it's happening.
Earth Angel, please be mine. Josh, my darling dear,
oh, no.
Love you for all time. The Trax network is just a fool. All right, here we go.
He's gone.
His parents didn't kiss, they didn't fall in love, and Josh was never born, and the Trax network was never created.
Oh, I just checked. I was wrong. Coming back from the clip, everybody. Kane Hodder played Jason, Leatherface, and Freddy, technically. He played Freddy's hand. He played Leatherface in a stunt scene. for Leatherface 3, and he played Jason Voorhees. So
I was positive that he had played Leatherface and Freddy, but you said Kane Hodder played Jason?
yeah, he played Jason like 4 times apparently. I had no idea.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
I'll be damned.
It's
Learn
crazy.
something new every day, huh?
Yeah, and then he played Hatchet and Hatchet's dad, which I don't even know how that works, but
Victor Crawley, huh?
yeah, yeah.
Well, damn. Nice. And he also played the BTK killer as well.
Really?
Did you know that?
No,
Yeah, he
yeah,
did.
yeah. It's in his little shout out. Watch slash Trax or I'll kill you.
Yeah, the BTK killer movie Slashaholics, back when Blockbuster still existed. I remember when that pile of shit came out and I checked it out because Kane Hodder was in it. It was a horrible movie, but
He's killed more people on film than any other person. So
yeah, yes. He, like on screen wise for sure. Hey, Bo Starr plays Sheriff Ben Meeker. Okay, so
oh, Ben Maker.
yeah, the previous sheriff left Haddonfield after the events of Halloween 1 and 2. He got the hell out of Dodge. Now we've got Sheriff Ben. He was also in Bo Starr was in Fletch with Chevy Chase. He was in one of my favorite kind of cult classic comedy films, Summer School with Mark Harmon. He came
Okay.
back for Halloween 5, and he also played a young Henry Hill's dad in Goodfellas. He's the one who whips Henry Hill because he finds out he's not going to school and he's working at the cab stand. So that's like pretty much where I knew him from
That's
before I
impressive.
saw this film.
Impressive.
Uh, Kathleen Kinmont, I think I butchered her name. She plays Kelly Meeker, which is the sheriff's daughter. She was in kind of just a lot of like 1980s nudity comedy, like I don't even Meatballs, like probably B versions of those films. She was in Wasteland, or yeah, she was in Wolves of the Wasteland, a movie called Hard Bodies. She was also in Fraternity Vacation.
Okay.
So yeah, no movies, no movies I've ever seen before, or any movies that my mom would have let me watch when I was younger, probably. And
Well,
she's famous for wearing the sweater. Cops do it better in this film,
yes, 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 yes. Welcome
which
to
she
Blockbuster. Can I show you to our nudity comedy section, Alex? It's right over here.
the only films in that are movies she's been in. The movies from the mom, Midge, from that 70s show. She was also in Beastmaster. And then Corey Feldman and Corey Haim movies in the early 90s, Blown Away. Have you seen the Corey Feldman and Corey Haim movie, Blown Away?
I think I have. I do. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to like look into it, but I'm pretty sure I've seen their movies.
Potential riff movie because all they're doing is they're just having sex with Nicole Eggert the entire film.
That's it.
That's like the movie. It's bizarre. How the hell did they go from Lost Boys and Dream a Little Dream and like Stand By Me and like Silver Bullet and all these classics, and then literally like 3 years later, their careers just devolved into like sex B movies? How'd
I
that
don't know.
happen?
I don't know, man, but I got to hand it to Corey Feldman. He came back with another classic and really brought his career back whenever he did Demonic Toys versus Puppet Master. That one that put him back on the map.
Yeah, and
Come back, King.
that was right after he had done the classic TV movie, like I Was a Teenage Drug Addict with him and Drew Barrymore.
Oh
And
God.
yeah, he's like the whole movie is like he's in AA or like rehab with Drew Barrymore and a bunch of other people. And it's just like an after school special, but it's like an hour and a half long. And I think, Josh, don't quote me, I think him being in that movie was like court ordered. I
Oh
think that
wow.
was like part of his sentence.
I think
He
his
like,
his band is a court order too, because I can't understand why he's doing it if it's not like something he's having to do right now.
oh, Josh, I thought you were going to go the other way with that joke. I thought you were going to say it's court ordered for all the people who have to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah, that too. That might be what it is.
Due to your sins and crimes against humanity, Slash Trax Network, I sentence you to Loserville Tour 2024. You will be forced to see Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, the comeback king, and Limp Biscuit in all their glory.
And they had another name for the tour before Loserville. It was I bought Michael Jackson on Temu.
Or uh Kmart version Michael Jackson, or like a bobblehead
AliExpress.
Michael Jackson that you left out in the sun and it melted.
uh,
Corey Feldman is selling pop Funko Pop versions of himself. I don't know that Funko Pop actually made them. I think he like had them made because we could have Funko Pops made of us
yeah,
and sell them.
we actually got an offer one time to make a bobblehead of one of us, but they wouldn't do both of us, so we said F off. So
I remember that. But Corey's trying to sell these Funko Pops that he had made himself for like $50 a piece. It's ridiculous. Sasha Jensen is Brady. Brady is like the guy that all the girls want to bone in Haddonfield. He was in the classic horror film Ghoulies 2.
so he's the Josh of the Haddonfield. Okay.
He was in Ghoulies 2. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Christy Swanson, which was my first introduction to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love that movie. Paul Rubens is in that film. Pee Wee,
Yes.
rest in peace.
I love his death scene.
Yeah, he's like, and he's like kicking the floor and stuff. And my favorite film on his resume is probably Dazed and Confused. He plays one of the main characters in that movie. He's great in it.
Yeah.
But he works at like the local drugstore, and the main girl is gonna go on a date with him, and she has to cancel because she's got to babysit Jamie, and he ends up taking Kathleen Kimont home and finding out that cops do in fact do it better. So Josh, this movie was released on October 21st, 1988 in the USA on a budget of $5 million. Any guess on what this film grossed at the box office?
12 million.
You're close. Higher.
15.
Higher.
20.
Lower.
1850.
No. $17.8 million.
Okay, sweet.
So,
that's triple,
oh yeah.
It did triple its money. Good job.
Yeah, this is 1988 money too. That's a really good haul from at the box office.
Like 35 million right now. That's really good.
The first film in the Thorn trilogy. So the Thorn trilogy is Halloween 4, 5, and 6, which some people love those three films, and some people really don't like them at all. I would say this is probably the strongest of the three. Definitely.
Part 6 had potential, but they just screwed it all up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. Okay, so it's the first film in the Thorn trilogy. Okay. In 1998 with H2O, when they kind of soft rebooted the series, the Thorn trilogy was kind of just totally looked like forgotten about and written out of the Michael Myers lore. So technically, this film doesn't exist if you're going from H2O and then Resurrection.
Yeah, because it's like part one, it's like 1, 2, H2O Resurrection, and then with Danny McBride, who I still can't believe wrote the Halloween reboots. He's like the most crass. He's funny though. Like if you've never seen it, you need to watch the Royal. Oh my God, what's it called? The Mighty. What is it? The what gems? The Mighty. I thought it was like the religious gemstones or something. Talking to my wife. It's called like the Mighty Gemstones or something like that.
Eastbound and Down, where he plays Kenny Powers, where he's in the movie This Is the End with like Seth Rogen and everybody, and they're playing themselves. And he's talking about how he'll just jizz anywhere. He'll jizz all over that magazine if he wants to.
Yes.
Yeah, he's really crass, but he can be really funny. He kind of plays the same character almost. He's just himself in every movie he's ever done.
It's The Righteous Gemstones on HBO. It's got John Goodman in it too. It's really good. But because of Danny McBride, you have Halloween, the first timeline, Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, then Halloween 1, 2, H2O Resurrection, and then Mr. Danny McBride comes in and jizzes all over the franchise, and you have Halloween, and then Halloween 2018. Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. So Halloween Kills. That's where we're at right now.
There's 3 Halloween ones.
Yeah, and they're rebooting again. Halloween's getting rebooted again.
It's going to be a TV show. Halloween 2018, in his defense, is a really strong film. I
Yeah,
like that film.
only thing I don't like about it is the sister angle dropped, but that's just me. A lot of people like it, but yeah, the sequels I hated kills, and I have not watched Ends. I'm saving Ends for an eventual riff, so I can give it my full first impression if we riff it.
Halloween Kills should be riffed. Have we? Yeah, we
Yeah,
riffed.
we riffed kills.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
but
say
not
it should be
Ends.
riffed. We did riff it.
I'd riff it again. It's so bad.
Yeah, so like what Josh said, this film was originally intended to be a ghost story, but the poor reception of Halloween 3 made the studio pivot back to Michael. Jamie Lee Curtis was asked to come back, but she was finding mainstream success, so they killed her off. Don't explain it. Here's a fun fact. Melissa Joan Hart auditioned for the role of Jamie Lloyd.
Oh wow,
So she was going to play Daniel Harris's character, or at least she wanted to. Um,
Myers
no
explains it all.
Yeah, no word yet on if Jamie Lloyd had she got the part would have had a daybed in her window, and Michael Myers would use a ladder to crawl through her bedroom window to kill her.
My sisters watched that show, and I ended up loving it. Like, even though I was more like the annoying brother in real
Ferguson?
life, Ferguson. But yeah, I enjoyed Clarissa. They were going to remake that a few years ago, and it just fell through. Or
They were
not
gonna
remake.
have
They were going to revive it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they tried to revive it. I okay. So I
We're off
here's
on so many
here's a
tangents.
tangent. Here's a tangent. Melissa Joan Hart, they did try to make like her in college when she like went to New York. And I think they might have even made a few episodes, but it just didn't work. And then they didn't do it. And then they were going to remake Clarissa Explains It All with her as an adult,
As a
and it
mom. Yeah,
never, yeah, it never got off the ground. But yeah, that TV show was so different and so unique. It was a female lead character on a kids TV show. They said it couldn't be done. She did it really well. Um, Great comedy, good writing. The parents weren't the focus. The family wasn't even really the focus. She was the focus, and that was so different
yeah,
for a kid show. It was always a boy lead.
yeah,
Yeah, so she did it. She knocked that out of the park, and then she parlayed that into Sabrina,
yeah.
and then her career just took off into the stratosphere. Stratosphere. Um, what do we got here? Oh yeah, Ellie Cornell auditioned for Halloween 4 and Dream Master. Kind of already hit on all these points. Here's some new stuff. Filming took place in Salt Lake City, Utah in March. So it was springtime. It wasn't fall. And they're not in California, like where they filmed the first movie.
Yeah.
And since it was spring, Josh, the producers were forced to import leaves. And they had to import squash because there's no pumpkins, because
Yeah,
pumpkins
yeah.
don't grow in the spring. And they had to hand paint all the squash orange.
That's great. I
Oh,
love it. I love it.
yeah, any pumpkin in this film is a squash painted, and any leaves you see in the movie, they were all imported and paid for probably a hefty sum by the studio.
Hefty sum and came in a hefty bag. So
Yeah. Where the hell were these producers when I was raking up the redwood tree in Coos Bay, Oregon for my grandfather? We could have sold those freaking leaves. Um, Garland Wild was a gaffer on set, Josh. He was hurt for real during the scene between Brady, the guy who works at the drugstore and both girls want a bone. Michael Myers is like fighting with Brady in the stairwell.
yeah.
The gaffer accidentally dropped a light, and when he dropped the light, he accidentally slit his own wrists. So the
Wow.
light fixture slit his wrists. He started bleeding all over the place. He had to go to the hospital. It was a really bad deal.
I would have went there and said Michael Myers did it.
That wasn't the only real physical accident on this set either, though. Josh, you want to hear the next one?
What's that?
Ellie Cornell, when they're on the roof, which is your favorite scene in this movie, she's like sliding down the roof to get away from Michael Myers. There was like a large nail protruding through the top of the roof. She caught her stomach on it, and it dragged all the way from her torso up to her like mid chest, and she bled all over the place, all over the roof. And she just kept filming. They just
I'm
kept
about to
rolling.
say that I would have used it. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So she was bleeding all over the place, and she was a trooper, and they got it all on film. They got it all on camera. That's like her real blood,
good.
if you can
That's
see it.
cool. Not good that she's got hurt, but good they used it. That's cool.
Yeah. And then they couldn't get the original mask from the first Halloween movie. So they had to go to a store, like a Halloween Spirit Halloween store, which probably wasn't even open because it's not Halloween time. They had to go to like a novelty store to get a Michael Myers mask. But the problem, Slashaholics, was that the new Michael Myers masks that they bought were blonde. So
Yep.
he didn't have the dark hair. So when they brought the mask back on set to like fix it and make his hair dark, they they had like a couple versions of it, and one of them they didn't fix. So they had to go reshoot a scene because they put the wrong mask. Michael Myers is wearing the blonde mask in one
Yep.
of the scenes. So they tried to fix it, but it was ultimately left in the film.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so Michael Myers has blonde hair in one of the scenes in this movie.
Blondes have more fun.
Apparently. 39% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. So not great. Do you want to take a guess at the audience score, Josh?
It's part 4, so it's a little better than 5 and excuse me, 5 and 6. Do you have any idea what the audience score on part 2 was?
I don't. I don't have that in front of me, no.
All right, I'm going to say it's going to be in the mid 50s to mid 60s.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, you're good at this. 53% for the audience score.
Sweet.
So not bad. Horror movies historically slash holics, I mean, we all know it. They don't get the love that they deserve. So I would say mixed to bad reviews overall.
Yeah.
Has gained a lot of steam in the recent years. A lot of love. It's like a cult classic film. Even though it did really well at the box office when it came out, it's still considered a cult following, like cult, classic, which is weird for a film to be both, because usually cult classics don't make money at the box office. They make it on VHS rentals later on in life.
It's actually my second most popular audiobook on the channel behind Halloween 1.
Is that a fact?
Pretty sure. Yeah. Halloween 1 has like 60,000 listens and like tens of thousands of listen or watch hours on it. And
Yeah.
Halloween 4, I think, has like 45, something like that, thousand plus tens of thousands of watch hours. So I think that's my
Okay.
top 2. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Slashaholics. Check out the audiobook narration on the channel here. All you have to do, I believe, is go to the channel, go to videos, click most views or most popular. Should be at the top somewhere there.
Yeah, somewhere
Halloween
near the top.
4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, should we discuss the plot a little bit?
Yeah, I mean everybody's seen the movie, but yeah, we'll do a quick rundown. I'll let go ahead.
Okay, so Slashaholics, if you're familiar with our previous reviews and especially the Slash Trax Saturday mornings episodes, we're not going to do exactly how we do that. We're not doing point per point. We're going to do a gloss over, give you the general idea, and then we're going to discuss what we liked and what we didn't like. So,
yeah.
Okay, so this movie, Josh, starts out, it's 10 years after the events of Halloween 1 and 2. So Michael Myers is being transported from one facility to another facility. So he's catatonic. He's basically Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber 2 at this point. Hasn't moved or talked for 10 years. He's wrapped up tighter than a mummy. He looks like Goofy after he went off a snow slope or like a mountain, crashed. He's in a full body cast.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Michael doesn't talk to anybody because he's in a full body cast. He's catatonic. Does he just piss and shit himself all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Are they constantly having to change his slasher diaper?
It's a deleted scene. Yep.
Loomis is like, God damn it, Michael, stop shitting your pants. Can you at least ring the bell that I brought into your room, Michael? You are evil, Michael.
You can smell the evil in the room.
You can smell the evil coming out of his behind. Ring the bell.
And you thought his mask was shitty.
They could have made his hair not blonde and used his diaper that he's wearing to make the hair dark with his diaper.
It got so stinky it turned his own hair white.
It's like when you fart and even it's disgusting. Like you don't even enjoy your own fart at that point. It's like, that's so rotten. I can't even enjoy this myself. So they're transporting him from that facility to another one, and Dr. Loomis shows up to talk to the trainer from Rocky 4 about a fight with Drago. No, he talks to him about he says this is a bad idea. He says this is a really bad idea. I think we should not transport him. Do you even know what day it is? It's like Halloween, right? It's like it's October 31st.
And that guy's like, no, he's like, Michael Myers. We've got Michael Myers here. See, Loomis, nobody cares. Like Jurassic Park. It's like, nobody cares.
So stupid. So Loomis is just like kind of pissing and moaning. He's kind of pleading his case, but they're going to transport him anyway. So of course they transport him. And while the people are like monitoring him in the back of the ambulance, they're talking about like, oh, he's catatonic, he hasn't moved in 10 years, whatever. And they mention that he has a niece because they want to find they need to have somebody that's like going to take care of him or like
Yeah.
assume custody of him because he doesn't have any family. And
Mhm.
they're like, oh, he has a niece, but she's too young, so she can't take possession of him. As soon as he finds out he has a niece, Josh, what happens?
He sits up and kills people
Yeah.
and,
And
and
he has
craps
like one of
himself.
he immediately changes his diaper because now he doesn't have to pretend like he's catatonic anymore. No, he kills the nurse, he kills the other guy. But he has like the stupidest kill ever. He uses his hand and presses his thumb through her forehead. That's not
Yeah,
even possible. That's stupid.
I mean he's like superhuman, but yeah, that's it was weird. I don't know. It's his first time back since maybe he's a little rusty. He's
He
been
hasn't
out of
moved.
it for a couple years.
He hasn't moved his body in 10 years. He's shitting himself. He wrapped like a mummy. He looks like a box of freaking Frankenberry or Booberry. Listen, his body would be atrophied. There's
Yeah.
no way that he could do that.
Yep. Yep.
This is stupid. So he kills everybody in the van. The van crashes or the ambulance crashes. Loomis finds out that the ambulance crashed. He goes to the scene of the crash. The trainer guy from Rocky 4 is there. He says all the bodies are destroyed. Loomis is like, did you count them? Is there because there's supposed to be five? And they're like, well, they're just a bunch of ash. There's no way. So they're pulling the Jason Voorhees thing where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, it's just a bunch of ash. There's no way. And he's like, well, you better count them, damn it. So he goes into the water, like to his waist, and realizes that Michael Myers did in fact escape, and he immediately heads to Haddonfield, and he tells them like, "Hey, I'm going to Haddonfield. Somebody's got to stop him."
And he
So
even knows. He even tells him the first place I'm gonna stop is the closest mechanic shop because Michael needs a jumpsuit.
exactly. So of course, the first place Loomis does go to is a mechanic shop, and he's gonna get gas. Um, and there's nobody there. So Loomis is robbing the gas station. He
Yep.
just starts pumping gas. So he's committing a felony, but he doesn't care at this point. Um, he goes into the place, I think, probably to pay for the gas. And he sees that there's nobody in there. He might even see that somebody was killed, right? Doesn't he find
Yeah, yeah, I'm
like a
pretty sure.
body or something, the mechanic who was killed? Because Michael does this weird thing like Jason did in New Blood, where he hangs the mechanic's body from the chain, right?
Yep. He
Why?
pulled.
Why
He
did he do
pulled.
that?
And I don't know, man. Psychos, man. I
What's
don't
the
know,
point?
but he pulls out his gun, right? Doesn't Loomis pull out a gun?
He pulls
Yeah.
it on Michael. Michael's in his full mechanic's outfit, fits like a glove, killed the random mechanic, fits perfectly, still head wrapped up like a mummy. And Loomis unloads the entire clip on Michael, but Michael just kind of turns the other way and gets the hell out of Dodge. And Michael does what he does best, Slashaholics. He drives away in a truck because he knows how to drive,
He sure does.
obviously.
He sure does. Somebody
Michael
was giving
drives
him
away.
lessons. Somebody was giving him lessons at the psych ward back in part one before he
In
escaped.
what? Like a big wheel?
I don't.
Like a
I'm just saying because like in part one he gets away in a car as well. He's
I know
driving
he
all over
does.
Haddonfield. So
Got a pow. He's got one of those metal toy, like aluminum cars, like the pedal cars from that they want on American Pickers all the time. They're like, oh, it's a pedal car from 1950. Like, I'll take those oil cans and that pedal car. Like,
he's so superhuman strong. He just pulls a Fred Flintstone when he gets in a car. He just like shoves his feet through the floorboard and just
through the floor mats, through the floorboard.
all I'm going to picture now when Michael Myers is driving.
Yabba dabba doo. So he escapes in the truck, but while he's escaping, Loomis, I think, is still firing the gun, and like the truck Michael is driving somehow makes the gas station explode. Like, because I don't understand that. And then the explosion causes the electrical wires to rip down, and all hell, like there's like live wires all over Loomis that think shit's exploding. He didn't pay for his gas yet. Loomis has got a lot of problems.
We're going to have that comment pretty soon. Actually, guys, if you pay attention to the scene, whenever Loomis leaves. According to the script, in the fourth ride of the script, it was cut from the movie. Michael actually sets a very elaborate trap for anybody coming, and that's what caught. I don't know. Like some nerd's gonna get us in the comments for not knowing why it blew up.
I know why it explodes. Because his overalls are filled with feces because he hasn't changed his underwear in 10 years. The methane created a buildup, and when the spark hit, right, the explosion happened.
Did you guys even watch this movie?
Yes, like 3 times before we started filming this in the last 24 hours. Okay, so he escapes. Now we cut to Jamie Lloyd. She's at her foster home. She's having nightmares about Michael Myers, which is weird because she's never seen him and she doesn't know who he is. So she's just like having these weird nightmare premonitions about Michael Myers. Her foster sister is guilted into having to babysit her
Yeah.
for Halloween. The foster sister had a date with the guy from Dazed and Confused. He's like the heartthrob of the town. She has to cancel the date. He ends up like later on when she takes Jamie Lloyd trick or treating. She sees that the guy is in the house with the girl he works with, and
Yeah.
he ends up banging her later. So he's the worst boyfriend ever. I don't think they were official yet, but they were going that way. They were like making out in the drugstore, and then he's having sex with the other girl later. So he must not have given a crap anyway.
And that scene where
Um,
Michael grabs the mask in the store,
yeah, right behind Jamie Lloyd because you see the mask behind
nobody
her.
nobody saw like a dude walk in with coveralls smelling like shit and had his head wrapped up in toilet paper. Like
No,
nobody
no,
saw that.
because he was the only guy in charge was him, and he was making out with the girl. So he's preoccupied. How are you going to notice Michael Myers in the back when you've got a boner going?
Why didn't he kill
He's,
Jamie right there if she was there?
I don't. Did he? Very good call. Did he even know who she? Because he finds out who she is later. How does he know later, but not then?
Well, the killing spree is like his trick or treating, so he didn't want to like ruin his Halloween.
Yeah,
So
timing is everything for Michael Myers.
yeah.
So he gets the mask from the drugstore. Jamie picks out the weirdest Halloween costume. She picks out the clown costume, which is what young Michael Myers wore
Yep,
when he killed his sister
sure
in the
is.
first film. So full circle there. All hell breaks loose. Michael starts killing people all over town. He like they all kind of lock themselves up, including the sheriff in the sheriff's house later on. They try to escape. Michael starts picking everybody off one by one, kills the sheriff's daughter, tries to kill Jamie, tries to kill everybody, kills the Lothario from the drugstore. One of the scenes I like though is when they're at the bar, Josh,
Yes.
and for some reason they kind of figure something's off in town, and the guy who's the bartender decides to call the sheriff's office just to see what's going
Oh,
on.
yep.
They don't answer the phone, and the bartender decides, listen, guys, all 14 of you at the bar here, cops don't not answer their phones. We're going down to the sheriff's office right now. So they all are drunk. They've been drinking all Halloween night, and they all decide to get in their automobiles and drive directly to the sheriff's office, which, Josh, was the greatest Haddonfield ruse of all time. They are going to get like 14 to 15 DUI tickets, revenue for the sheriff's office. They're not even going to have to get in their squad cars. The drunks are coming to them.
Yep. That's why this guy keeps getting reelected. Every Halloween, they just don't answer their phone, and they get a lot of drunk drivers off the street.
Yeah, he's a genius. So they all go down, they all go down there. They find out shit's going on. They start to become like vigilantes, almost like Halloween Kills. They
Yeah.
start looking for Michael at this point. But later on in the film, like towards the end, there's a scene where there's like 4 or 5 of them, and they decide like this isn't our problem. Do you remember
Yeah.
that scene? And they're like they
Yeah.
just leave.
Yeah. Yep. All that
Really,
built up.
really poorly written scene.
They were losing their buzz. Their buzz was like going.
Yeah, they're like shit, man.
Well, the cops are fine. They're here, so we're good. Yeah.
Halloween was on like a Tuesday that night. They had to go back to work the next day. They're done. They're going home, and they had enough fun. So yeah, all hell breaks loose. They leave. So Michael is chasing Jamie and her foster sister, and they end up on the roof, right? Later on.
Yep.
And the climactic finale, and the sister falls off the roof. Michael
But
standing on the roof. Jamie Lloyd is like hanging from the gutter, right?
yeah, Yeah.
Danielle Harris is hanging from the gutter. The sister falls off the roof. She's dead, right? There's no way she survived that.
Right.
But later on in the film, it shows her carrying Jamie around town still. So she like broke her back, but she's still
Right.
carrying the little sister around town. Take it from here, Josh. What happens after that in the climactic finale?
Well, you have the car chase, you know, and everything. Sorry, everybody. The whole Michael Myers car chase, high speed chase, very intense scene. I got to say that is a very tense scene. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. But when we get to the end and Michael Myers goes down the hole.
Never go down the hole. Never go down the hole.
Baby Plucky. Man, that's a really good movie. We ought to. I'm going off on a tangent, but we should totally review how I spent my summer vacation.
I just got it. I just got that at a thrift store for $2.99.
But yeah, that's another one of those things that try to make Jason like it's the wrong hockey mask and give him a chainsaw.
Yeah, because they don't have the intellectual rights to the character.
Yes,
so
Roseanne did it. All kinds of movies did that in the 80s. But anyways, Michael Myers gets shot to shit like rounds and rounds and more rounds. And then he gets exploded. They explode him in the hole and he's supposed to be dead. Like Michael Myers is dead. This is the end of the series. And then we cut to Loomis hanging out with Jamie and the family, the Foster family. They ask where Jamie's at, and all of a sudden we get a flashback to the first Halloween where we're seeing through the eyes of the clown mask. And little Jamie kills her mother in the bathtub, her foster mother. Well, we find out in part 5 she didn't kill her, but I think the series should have ended here because it went full circle. You know, Michael's dead. The evil has infested Jamie. She just killed her foster mother. She comes down the stairs holding the bloody scissors, wearing the iconic clown mask from Kid Michael Myers. And, you know, Loomis is like, no, into the night.
How did they explain that she didn't kill the foster mother? Like, what did she stab?
She stabbed her. She survived. That's all. You know, the one thing in this movie that disappointed me the most was not that, because I actually like the ending. In my mind, that's how the first 4 movies is like a timeline, and that's how it ended. Mine was the preacher guy, the drunk preacher guy.
The guy from Old School. He was blue.
He didn't
Old School.
He didn't deserve to die the way he went. You know, he was actually quite helpful.
Yeah, he was a solid individual, just drinking a fifth of whiskey down the road. Very, very solid morals. Great guy, Josh. Yeah.
Well, he got Loomis to town, man. He got Loomis to town.
Which is ironic. He just happens to pick up Loomis. What about the kids who acted like they were going to pick up Loomis? And then they're like, yeah, we'll pick you up, no problem. And they like burn rubber and like peel off right in his face.
Fuck off, old man. And he pulls out his gun and goes, I'll have the last laugh, and shoots them all. That was a cool scene.
Kills all the kids.
The old preacher man getting killed reminds me of Halloween 2007, Rob Zombie. I actually like Rob Zombie's take on it. Even part 2. I even like part 2 because he made it his own. Part 1 remake, he had to do what the studio said pretty much on like Michael. And when they said we want a sequel, he said, I'm only going to do it if I can do it my way. So I respect the hell out of his artistic vision for part 2. And you have to really separate yourself from this Halloween. And you'll see that it's not bad. It's actually and the guy that played Loomis in those was really good. He's one of my favorite actors, actually. I just can't think of his name right now.
Not a big
McDonald,
fan of
something McDonald. McDowell.
Not a big fan of I hate in the Halloween movies that Rob Zombie did, where is his name Danny Trejo?
That's what I was getting at. That the preacher thing reminded me of Danny Trejo getting killed.
I hated that, where spoiler alert, Michael still kills him. I hate that.
I thought Michael,
to show how evil he is. He even kills the person who took care of him his whole life. But I hated that. I guess that was really good directing and good acting too, because it touched me.
Yeah, that scene was hard to watch. It's very hard to watch. It's like you're almost there and it's happening to you, you know?
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
He even kills him slow. slower than most that he kills. Yeah.
Yeah, no mercy whatsoever. He's like the Cobra Kai, just strike hard, strike first, no mercy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the movie, man. That the evil goes full circle. So
let's talk about let's talk about what we like and what we didn't like.
okay.
The first thing that pops up in my head with what I didn't like was, and this is kind of just more of like an opportunity for me to tell a joke, when the parents are telling her that like, oh, sorry, you can't go on that date tonight. Like, it's very important that we take care of Jamie and let her know how much she's loved and we're here for her.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you this guilt trip, daughter, and we need to make sure you know Jamie needs someone there for her. So therefore, we're leaving her to go do whatever we're going to do, and we're pawning her off on you. So that doesn't make sense. Like we need to be here for her. We need to show her she's loved. Therefore, we're leaving her.
We need
So
the
you need to
Sanderson
watch her.
sisters to like totally put a spell on those parents, man. Make them dance
Mhm.
till they die. You know, get
Or Ivan
revenge.
Ooze. Give them some ooze. Fucking march their asses right off a cliff.
Throw it in
Uh,
their faces.
yeah, put it in your parents' faces in Haddonfield, or maybe in Michael Myers' dumper, and toilet paper all over the places.
Yeah, so not only did she have to see a bunch of people die, she was like guilted in and treated like crap by by her parents, you know, to take out the little Annie type shithead trick or treating.
Yeah, I didn't. Another scene I didn't like was when she was at school, and the other children were like, "You're an orphan, blah blah blah. You can't get a like you can't go trick or treating because your parents are dead." Um, Kids don't act like that at
No,
that age. That's
no.
not realistic. It's stupid. I don't like that, and I also don't like that she's having nightmares about Michael Myers. She's never seen him or even seen what he looked like. It's not like someone was taking photos of him in the mask killing people and like putting them in the newspaper or something.
You know, in part five, at least it makes sense. You know, they have like this psychic connection, but like in this one, yeah, I did like Michael discovering the pictures in the house. You remember that scene?
I do remember so he kind of like, oh yeah, like I'm related to these people.
Yeah, and that's how he figures out what
Or
she looks like. So maybe at that point he was like, "Shit, I just saw that little girl at the costume shop.
could
Damn
have
it,
could have ended
curses,
this movie in 28 minutes. Damn it.
curses!" And then he eats the dog, kills the dog, and eats the dog. Um, it's implied, like in part one and this one, that he eats dogs. So
That's just that like for me to hate him even more. Like
he's
because I love
eating the
him. Just
dogs,
yeah, what an asshole.
the
Because even
pets.
Jason Voorhees doesn't kill dogs. The dog in part four like jumps through the window. You never see him again, right? He doesn't get
Yeah,
killed.
no,
Yeah, and Jason Voorhees doesn't kill children either. But Michael Myers sure was hell trying his best to kill Jamie Lloyd in this film for sure.
dude. In Halloween 2018, where he kills that like preteen dude, that I was like,
Oh
okay,
yeah, the little kid who's like, I just want to go to dance class.
yeah, different set of rules in this movie for damn sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, that
completely.
that one, yeah, but yeah,
So
he's
yeah,
eating the dog, and he finds the picture, and yeah, I mean, I just always I kind of picture that now, like he had to be kicking himself in his filthy poop filled butt that he just saw her. You know, that had to add to his frustration. What do you think?
what? Okay, okay. So we talked about some things we don't like. What are some things you did like?
I love the scene once we're in the house, like at night, like when we, you know, everybody's in there, they're like barricading the door. Even though it's a Michael Myers slasher film, it kind of felt like Night of the Living Dead in a way, but like in a slasher vibe. It's, instead of a horde of zombies coming, they're prepping for
One guy.
one guy that's just as menacing and as scary as a horde of zombies. And they know what they're up against, you know. And to see the guy, the boyfriend character type guy, he made a valiant effort to stand up, you know, to protect Rachel and Jamie.
Yeah.
That's a death I didn't like to see.
Well, I really did. I'm not on the same uh page as you with him. He was literally just having sex with the sheriff's daughter. He does not care about Rachel and Jamie. And also, how much of a fight is he going to put up when he's got blue balls, like the worst case of blue balls in the history of Haddonfield? Uh, he's suffering right now. He's having a really hard time. He's got blue balls. He was just having sex, and now his girlfriend, who's not his girlfriend, she's pissed off at him. She's giving him the silent treatment. He's trying to save her. He gets killed for a girl who won't even put out. I don't know, man. He probably should have just ran.
Well, yeah, just be like, hey, if I didn't like her, I'd be like, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, and she's downstairs, okay, and I go down. He just wants to talk to you, Rachel, and then as she goes up the stairs, I'm running away.
Yeah.
No, the whole scene in the house was very tense. It was very claustrophobic, even though it was a big house, and it took me back to Night of the Living Dead. I know that's a weird analogy or whatever, but
Not at all. I see it. I see
yeah,
it.
and the scene in the truck, like the high speed chase before the end,
Yeah.
that was pretty tense and edge of your seat. So they had some really good moments in the movie that I don't know. I don't want to say action packed, but it was very intense. It was very scary. I can see people watching it for the first time feeling that claustrophobia and like, where's Michael? Is he in the house already? And him on the house, that was pretty cool too. That was a cool scene.
Yeah, it's a good visual.
Yeah.
The car chase. How are they in a car chase with my truck that I drive to work, the 1990 Ford Ranger? Uh, like that's the slowest truck ever. Also it's like 5 speed, and also when the driver of the truck gets killed and Rachel like pushes
Oh
the
my
driver
god.
out,
Yeah.
like he's not even dead yet. I don't even think he's dead. So like Rachel committed murder too because she like throws him down the hill.
And how it would have been a lot harder for her to like heave this guy out of the truck as it's moving and shit.
Yeah, she uses one arm. She uses one arm to like slide over, open the door, push him out,
It's
and regain control of the truck all in like one motion.
it's almost like Egon in Ghostbusters when they're at the hotel looking for Slimer and he like walks by that guy and he just barely like touches the guy on the shoulder and
Yeah. Moves him. No, it's ridiculous. It's movie logic right there. Um,
what did you like?
I I was I was thinking about that. I think what I liked wasn't just it wasn't one thing. I think what I really liked was just to see Michael back on screen after being gone for, they say in universe it's 10 years, but in reality it's like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see Michael Myers back. It's nice to see them kind of go back to the formula of the first film. It's Michael Myers going around Haddonfield and stalking, not a babysitter, but basically the same thing. A babysitter, yeah, because it's Rachel's a babysitter.
The return of Michael Myers.
Yeah, it's just nice to see him back on screen. It had been a really long time, and it's like a fresh take on an old formula. They like even say, like they say specifically that this movie is the closest in like plot and like formulaic, uh, you know, presentation to the first one as any of the other sequels are in the franchise. So yeah,
I agree.
I like the film. It's fun. There's so many unbelievable, ridiculous parts that we make fun of, but I really enjoy this movie. Um, what was your favorite kill and what was your least favorite kill?
Okay, least favorite kill is Preacher, the driver guy. Like I hated that. I mean I could be make it easy and say the nurse and stuff at the beginning,
Hmm.
but I didn't think Preacher deserved to die. Like I really didn't. Yeah, he's driving drunk and Michael took somebody off the road. But I mean the dude was sleeping in his truck or whatever at the church or what. He wasn't out driving when he got completely plastered.
Yeah,
Um,
and this is the 80s, back in the day when they just let you have a warning. They'd be like, "All right, drive it off, buddy." Like,
now
don't kill
remind
anybody.
me how the slut got killed.
That's my least favorite kill. And she's not a slut. She likes him. She knew what she wanted and she went after it. She gets killed because Michael gets a gun, and instead of shooting her with the gun, he pushes the gun through her chest, like the
Yes.
barrel of the gun through her body, which is also stupid.
Well,
Like
that
the stupidest kill ever.
that was going to be my stupidest, but my least favorite. But I really didn't want Preacher to die. My favorite death is Michael Myers, even though I know
That's
technically he's not dead. But I mean, if this was the end of the series, he went out the best way possible. I mean, he got shot with every kind of round. He had like 1,000 holes in him. This was like Bonnie and Clyde's vehicle, Michael Myers. And then on top of that, they're like, I don't know. I know we shot him 500,000 times and, we turned him into Swiss cheese, but it's Michael fucking Myers. So I'm going to throw this fucking grenade and, they explode him. So it was smart because usually, like in Halloween Kills, They beat the ever living shit out of him, baseball bats, stabbing him, and then they just leave him in the street and turn their backs, like, well, that was a good day's work. And, he gets up and kills everybody at 75 years old. But no, sorry.
I'm surprised.
Oh,
dude, I'm surprised. I don't want to cut you off, but like when you're talking about that, they kill him so well that I was surprised that the Crystal Lake SWAT team didn't drop down from the trees with machine guns,
yes.
like in Jason Goes to Hell.
But they were smart about it. Yes, they shot him 1,000 times, but then they said, no, they're like, okay, he's dead. And then somebody's like, no, no.
Yeah, dropped a grenade. And he fell right into his grave, by the way. It's like, oh, how convenient. Like right into a grave.
So yeah, that's my favorite kill because they didn't pull the bullshit in Halloween Kills where they think he's dead and turn their back. They killed him and then they killed him some more. So yeah, that's my least favorite and favorite kill.
I think my favorite kill was when he's like by that transformer. He's talking to the like electrician guy, the electrical guy.
Yeah.
And the electrical guy's like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, get out of here. And then he's like, no, wait a minute. I'm calling the cops. You stay right there. Don't. He's telling Michael Myers, this guy in a mask who's stalking him. He's like, you stay right there. Don't you dare go anywhere. And Michael Myers, like he's scolding him like he's a child. And Michael Myers just walks right up to him slowly, grabs him, and then freaking tombstone pile drives his ass right onto the transformer, like with ease. And then the guy just blows up because he's, on this field of electricity. That's a great scene.
It's ridiculous. That is a really good kill. Yeah.
So that's my favorite kill. Does this movie hold up today, Josh?
Oh, so you are going with the shotgun kill as your least favorite?
That's the least favorite. And that and the finger through the face is also equally stupid.
Yes, it holds up. I think it holds up more than part one because when I watch it, it holds my interest better. Part one is kind of like The Exorcist to me, or part one's still better. Excuse me, I disappeared again. Where did I go? Okay, can you still hear me? There I am.
Yeah, there you are.
No, and I'm gone again. Anyways, part one of Friday the 13th is like really hard to watch now. I know it's unpopular, but once you've seen it, it's really boring because the thing that keeps you through that movie is the whodunit,
Yeah.
But Exorcist is boring as hell too. That like the first hour and a half, the last 15 minutes is good, but Halloween 1 does not hold up now like Halloween 4 does. Definitely think Halloween 4 holds up, and Halloween 1 not so much. Kind of boring.
I think Halloween 4 holds up to a certain extent. I think that if it was set in today's, like if this same story happened now, anybody possessing a cell phone would have been able to stop him really quickly. Because his greatest weapon is the art of surprise and people not knowing exactly where he is. And in today's world, it would be harder for him in this specific plot line to be able to do what he was doing because he's driving the tow truck. He's freaking going into the Rite Aid. He's doing all this stuff. I mean, I don't know. So does it hold up? Yes and no. It's a good film. It's a lot of fun. You can tell that this film was made by a guy who ended up making action movies later on because how you said the gunfights, the car chase, all that stuff, that's textbook action movie stuff. So the roof stuff, cat and mouse, all that stuff. Yeah, you can tell that an action movie. And when I see this movie, I see Free Willy too all over it. I mean, I don't know if you do. Do you?
A little bit. It competes with my psyche on is it Free Willy 2 I'm seeing or Return of or Night of the Living Dead. But that analogy really just came to me during this review. I never really put a name to it, but that scene always made me feel like something I'd felt watching another horror movie, like claustrophobic, dreadful, nowhere to go,
Duck.
And as we were talking, I was like, oh, I know what it reminds me of. Night of the Living Dead. Really enjoyed that.
Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Dead, Fright Night, like something's coming to get your ass and you got to keep it out. Yeah. That's a great horror movie trope. I love that. Let's rate the film, Josh, and how we're rating it. How many blonde Michael Myers masks out of 4? So 4 blonde Michael Myers masks is the best. 1 is the worst. Josh, What say you?
I'm going to give it 3, just because it does, in my opinion, hold up better than the original. It's got some great scenes in it, a great ending. If they had actually ended the series with the end of this movie, it would have been perfect ending, brought it full circle to the very, because part one starts with, I keep disappearing. Part one starts with Michael Myers, in the clown mask as a kid, killing his sister and everything. So it just goes full circle, and you get a conclusive Michael death. You had a really tense and suspenseful movie with some great action scenes and kills. But at the same time, it does kind of have a straight to video feel about the movie. It doesn't feel as cinematic as the first couple.
It looks like it was shot on an iPhone. I noticed that today, which iPhones obviously didn't exist in 88, but it looks like it was shot on a camera that like a sitcom would have been made with. Is
Yeah.
the best description, or a soap opera.
Yeah, like
That's
a
kind of the description.
a red box movie. And we've
Definitely.
reached the end of an era. Redbox is out of business now, by the way, folks.
Chicken Soup for the Soul owned it and they went out of business.
Yeah, but yeah, it kind of felt like a straight to DVD Redbox movie that you would rent just for fun, like a Nicolas Cage horror movie or something.
Or the
Which
BTK movie.
which I think Nicolas Cage is back in action with the last couple movies he's done. But I'm going to give it 3 out of 4. Um, yeah, I think that's the best way to explain it.
I give it 2.5 out of 4. Fun movie, a lot of great action scenes, a lot of great moments in the film where I was genuinely like scared for the heroes of the film.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff though, they don't explain why he has freakish power. They don't he's not a zombie, he's not a demon, he's a human being. I know Loomis keeps saying that he's otherworldly and he's just pure evil, but that's just one man's opinion. Scientifically, we haven't proven that yet. Um, yeah, so that really doesn't make sense to me. They never really explain that. Um, don't really like that Jamie Lloyd's having those nightmares about a character she's never seen.
Yeah.
I don't like that they go with Jamie Lloyd in the clown costume and don't pay it off in the sequel. I don't even understand why they did that if they weren't going to go in that direction. It makes no sense.
There shouldn't have been a
Um,
sequel, honestly.
yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, really. I guess it should have been stopped, and then if they wanted to continue the franchise, they could have went a different direction with a different character.
Yep.
But they weren't going to do that because this movie made a ton of money.
Yep.
So they had to continue. Um, I like I like the chemistry between the two female leads.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely feel like Rachel cares for Jamie. Um, I do like that a lot because in the beginning of the movie, she's like, "Do you love me like a sister?" And she's like, "Of course I do." And she's like, "No, but like a real sister." And by the end of the movie, she definitely loves her like a real
Yeah.
sister. So I like that. Um, yeah, I like what the sheriff's daughter's fine, like that. There's a lot of good things it's just great to see Michael Myers back on the screen at this point. 1988 had been almost 10 years. It was just great for him to be back. And America spoke, obviously, with their wallets. They liked it too.
And I will say Loomis is it the most forgettable in this one compared to 1, 2, 5, and 6.
Yeah, I was okay, so I'm glad you said that before we finish this up. I was watching this yesterday and I noticed that Loomis just disappears for like 20 minutes of this film and you don't really know where he's at and they don't explain it.
Yeah, it seems like we kind of glossed over the Loomis of the movie, but really,
he's
yeah, other than the beginning of the movie and at the mechanic shop,
he's not given much. He's just kind of there looking for Michael,
talking
like
about the evil and stuff. And
yeah, he's not given much to chew on other than the start of this film.
but yeah, definitely 1, 2, 5, and 6 have a lot more Loomis in them than this one. But yeah, so we didn't really skate over Loomis. He does play a part in this movie, but it's not memorable. Definitely not as memorable as some of the others. So,
which would explain why we didn't talk about him as much.
Yeah.
Great review, Josh.
Yep.
Do you want to tell the Slashaholics what's coming up on the docket for the main channel and for the secondary channel? Do our business and let's get out of here.
Yeah, and narrations are back on a roll, folks. The summer's over. I don't have to worry about melting with no air and no fan while I narrate. Got some great books coming up. Also, ebook of Celestial Slumber and a physical book that I'm going to do orders for. I won't make a profit on it at all. It's just going to cover the binding fees, and you'll get a signed copy. On our second channel, Slash Trax Network with Alex Vanover, we got some great. Our weekend show is now called Slash Trax Saturday Mornings. It's supposed to take you back to your childhood Saturday morning cartoons, shows like Saved by the Bell as well. Great reviews. We're going to be putting out a lot of content on that channel and growing it up. So all the horror content's going to stay here on the 80 Slasher Librarian Slash Trax Network. I'm just disappearing, Alex. And there
You're Marty McFly in Back to the Future. Your parents did not fall in love at the enchantment under the sea dance. You're fucked.
And then then they do, then they don't, then they do. But yeah, lots of great stuff coming up, folks, on both channels. If you want to support the channel, if you like the narrations, like the reviews, like looking at me and Alex's mugs constantly, you can support the channel through Patreon. It's been on the screen. Also, you can order a cameo video for about $5 or less sometimes. Also, there's a Cash App and PayPal. All the information's in the description and pinned comments. You want to let them know about the email?
Yeah, slashtrax2020@gmail.com. You can write Josh and I at that email. If you're a potential sponsor or you're a business and you want to get in touch with us and you want to talk about sponsoring a future episode of anything on either channel, let us know. We'll talk turkey, and we'll definitely work something out. We've done products in the past. We've done cash in the past. We've done everything. So we're you know what? We're not above any sponsorship. So we are corporate shills for the right product. How about that?
Exactly. We will sell out for a razor, like a really awesome electric razor.
We're Wayne and Garth at this point. Nuprin, little, yellow, different. Yeah. So we're not worthy. So if you want to sponsor a future episode, get a hold of us at the email. If you want to be involved in a future episode of one of our podcast episodes, the news show, and you want to do a Dear Slashy, do you want some advice? Ask Slashy, or the same thing right there, or a who would win? Would you rather? Write us at slashtrax2020@gmail.com. We've had so many people write in suggestions, questions, and we've actually featured them in past episodes. So if you want to be included, make sure you write us. We read every email and comment. We try to respond to everything.
And leave really awesome comments, and you might see those pop up on the news show.
Yeah, nice comment of the week is a big deal. That is a real award. That is a real thing that Josh and I give out on those episodes. It exists.
Yes, no participation trophy. You're either the best, the nicest comment, or you're just not.
Yeah, or you're the biggest dick. You could get mean comment of the week too.
Yeah, we haven't been getting a lot of those, so let's see some mean comments down there, people. Come on.
We have not gotten a lot of mean comments, which is crazy because when we first started, let's take a trip down memory lane for 10 seconds here. When we first started riffing movies, I would say that like 3 out of 4 comments were mean. They're just talking about how terrible we were. And then it got to a point where 9 out of 10 comments where it wasn't us riffing was talking about how amazing we were at riffing and we shouldn't be doing anything else.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Stick to narrating, you redneck. That's one I got a whole lot.
You guys suck at narrating and riffing. And then like 3-4 months later, you guys are so good at narrating and riffing. You should only do that. Don't review anything.
Oh my God.
Damn, make up your mind.
Or have you ever seen the movie?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have. That's why we're reviewing it. I'm not just going to freaking go into a movie review not having seen it, you freaking ding-dong dum-dum.
But thank you all so much for watching. We really do appreciate it, all kidding aside. And we do see every patron, every donation, and we appreciate it. It really does help us keep going and growing because we don't make ad revenue at this point, especially on the main channel. There's just too much stuff we would have to rules to go by, like narrations would have to be taken down, riffs would have to be taken down. So we really do depend on y'all. Yeah, movie clips, all of that, music. But yeah, thank you so much. Be excellent to each other. Remember, the sun never sets on those who ride into it. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow. Say good night, Alex.
Good night, Alex. Mahalo, dogs.